headlines now. We're going to start with startling scenes in central London a few hours ago. A number of military horses got loose and ran through the city. Just a heads up, some of the images here may be upsetting. So you can see the horses there galloping through the streets this morning. They belong to the Household Cavalry regiment, which works in Buckingham Palace. It's believed that noise from nearby construction workers spooked the animals. A total of 5 horses ran loose. 4 soldiers were unseated. London Ambulance Service has confirmed 4 people injured. Well, the horses collided with several vehicles, including a double-decker tour bus here. The animals were then contained and assessed by vets. Our correspondent Ellie Price takes up the story.
If it wasn't so dangerous, it would be strangely beautiful. 2 military horses on the run in central London during the morning rush hour. One hits a taxi and they carry on down Fleet Street. In total, 5 Household Cavalry horses ran loose after unseating 4 riders. 1 had been in charge of 2 horses. The damage unmistakable as they crashed into several vehicles, including this bus. 3 soldiers were hospitalised, their injuries not deemed to be life-threatening. The BBC understands a 4th person injured was a cyclist. At such a busy time of the day, there were, of course, plenty of witnesses.
As I looked to the left, I saw 2 horses coming towards me. I ran just to get across the road. They're big horses, and the grey, or the white one as you would call it, had blood down it looked like from its withers, from its shoulders. And it was just coming at such a speed. I think I need to stop those horses. I need to stop those horses.
3 horses went past me at full gallop without riders, which obviously was quite extraordinary. So nudged out a little bit more to check it was safe to pull out. And then another horse came around the corner with a rider on it and just missed my cab.
Pictures on social media showed members of the public catching and calming one of the horses. All 5 have now been caught and are being checked over by a vet. The chaos started to unfold near Buckingham Palace this morning. The black and the grey made it here to the Strand before ending up 5 miles away at Limehouse in East London. We understand it was noise from a nearby building site that caused the horses to spook and then bolt. They unseated their riders coming down here, and one of the loose horses crashed into a taxi just about here. Household Cavalry horses are used to loud noises and the challenges of central London. Later this morning, many of their stablemates were involved in the changing of the guard. Tonight, all 5 horses are back at their barracks near Hyde Park, and questions remain over why they were so spooked. Ellie Price, BBC News.
And we're going to speak now to Jeanette Allen. She's the Chief Executive of the Horse Trust, a charity hosting retired public service horses. She also worked with the Household Cavalry, the regiment the horses belong to, for over 13 years. Thank you very much for coming on the programme.
Thank you.
So let's start with that question that Ellie was talking about at the end of her report there. These are horses who work in central London, used to bangs and cannons even. So what do you think has happened here that meant they bolted?
I think the reality is, with all the training in the world, and these horses have enormous amounts of training to desensitize them to those kind of noises, but you can't predict everything that a horse could experience whilst in a city. And from what I understand, it was possibly a very large amount of concrete being sent down a plastic builder's chute, and that's not something they're likely to have trained for. A big noise coming downwards and from behind. And as prey animals, I can understand why that would have frightened at least one of them.
And how unusual is something like this?
Well, if you think about it, there are well over 200, maybe over 300 service horses working and living in London every single day. And I don't think many people can remember anything like this ever happening, because that's how well trained and resilient they normally are. But of course, horses are not only a prey animal, they're a herd animal. So when one senses danger and is spooked, the others will follow. That's what they're programmed to do.
I see. And I just want to talk now about their journey through London. The first thing is about that they were hitting cars and hitting buses. Can you talk to us about what is going on there? Is that just the panic and the fury, or they can't turn sharply on the concrete, on the pavement, on the roads? What's going on there?
It's a number of things. The majority of it will be blind panic. To them, as a prey animal, it's a lion or a pack of wolves coming up behind them to kill them. That's the level of fear that they have. So there's enormous amounts of adrenaline running through them at that point. They are also very big horses. They're between 550 and 750 kilograms each. And it is very hard for them to turn very quickly on a hard surface, but especially when panicked and highly adrenalized.
So how do you go about, what's the correct way going about trying to slow down or stop and get horses like this under control?
I think everything that I've seen that's happened today has been done extremely well. So members of the public generally quite rightly stayed out of the way. These are very dangerous animals at that speed and at that weight, and they're very unpredictable, as you've seen from the film. But when one was standing stunned, someone who felt confident enough went and got hold of it and calmed it, and others came around and were calming. And the police officers involved in catching the others, it certainly seems they have really taken a few risks themselves, but they've acted absolutely appropriately in very calmly and very gently catching these horses once they've slowed themselves down through sheer tiredness.
I see. So the sensible option, just wait, get out their way and wait for them to stop. What will happen?
No sirens, nothing like that.
Yeah. What will happen to these horses now?
So right now, they'll be back at Hyde Park Barracks with the absolutely outstanding veterinary team they have there. They'll be getting the best possible veterinary care, and they'll be getting it in an environment that's incredibly calm. One of the first things that may have happened when they got back is they would have been given food, because that's actually a natural sedative for horses, and that would have really helped calm them down so that the vets could get a proper look at them.